Tonight, as Parliament resumes tomorrow, both sides of the House prepare for a showdown as former Majority Leader Haruna Iddrisu is determined to influence his side to upstage the MPP and become the majority side in the House by causing seat of 3 majority MPs and 1 minority MP to be declared vacant.
The Speaker will be called upon on Tuesday to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant and declare them as lacking constitutional recognition.
Now, details as the NDC backs their side's plan to claim majority in the House barely 2 months to the expiration of the 8th Parliament.
Why would you jump ship from a political party to independent and still want to keep your seat? We think that Honorable Haruna Iddrisu instrument should be supported by all, and we support it wholeheartedly.
We'll hear from the MPP shortly. This is Top Story, always brought to you by Telecel, connecting energies and holy insecticide spray and coil. Enjoy a holy sleep. Well, tonight, the National Democratic Congress is backing calls by former Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu for seat of 3 sitting majority MPs and 1 NDC MP who are running as independent candidate in the 2024 elections to be declared vacant barely 2 months to the expiration of the 8th Parliament. Former Minority Leader Haruna Iddrisu gave the initial signal that the side will trigger the appropriate constitutional and standing order provision to declare seats of these 4 MPs vacant at a party rally over the weekend. Now, with Parliament currently constituted as 138 majority MPs and 137 minority MPs, this will surely mean the NDC will become the majority should they succeed in this effort. Listen to Haruna Iddrisu speaking at the campaign event.
On Tuesday, the Parliament of Ghana will reconvene. And when it reconvenes, I am very certain that Parliament and Ghana will go through a major constitutional test. And that constitutional test is that the NDC minority must become the majority from Wednesday next week. I assume, and this must happen if there is constitutional and legal propriety in Ghana. Because any nuanced interpretation of Article 97 provides that if a member of Parliament on a political party ticket like MPP defects and fails to be independent, that MP ceases to be member of Parliament. And if an independent member of Parliament, by virtue of the provision of Article 97 subclause G, an independent joins a political party, that independent loses constitutional recognition and does not belong to Parliament. And even if an NDC candidate, MP, defects to become an independent, he ceases to be a member of Parliament. Therefore, we will invoke the Speaker's proper and true interpretation of Article 97 by our standing orders, which must mean that 3 MPP MPs no qualify to be members of Parliament, and 1 NDC MP does not also qualify to be member of Parliament. Therefore, the Speaker will be called upon on Tuesday to declare 4 parliamentary seats vacant and declare them as lacking constitutional recognition.
Well, as the country awaits how this will pan out in Parliament tomorrow, the National Democratic Congress is already backing the plan by the minority. Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer is the party's Deputy Director for Elections and Research.
The instrument to be introduced by our Member of Parliament, Honorable Haruna Iddrisu, would make sense, and we think that he should go ahead with such introduction, because why would you jump ship from a political party to independent and still want to keep your seat? We think that Honorable Haruna Iddrisu instrument should be supported by all, and we support it wholeheartedly.
Well, so who are these four members of parliament who risk losing their seats? My colleague Kweku Asante joins me via phone with details. Kweku, who are these MPs who are likely to lose their seats if the speaker should rule in favor of, the one who will be moving the motion?
Well, so we start with that one NDC MP who is caught in this process. That is Peter Yawache Akpa. He is the member of parliament for Amen Peace Central. And he lost the NDC's primaries early this year and has always indicated that he was going to run for independence. So he's one. Then there is Andrew Amakwesiama. He is the independent MP for Pamina. And what we recall that he is a member of the New Patriotic Party, but decided to go for independence in 2020 and was expelled from Parliament. He is the second on this list. The other two are currently sitting as NDC. That is Kwejo Wafo Asante, who is the MP for Suhum, who is also seeking to run for independent parliamentary seat, and then Cynthia Morrison, MP for Aguna West. So two NDP MPs, one independent MP, and one NDC MP. And if this ruling goes in the favor of the minority led by Haruna Iddrisu and the president exists in 2020, Andrew Amakwesiama, who was then an NPP MP, decided to run as an independent MP. His seat was declared vacant. There's Hawa Yakubu and a host of other precedents that was set in previous parliament that the minority, we understand, is seeking to rely on to trigger these new provisions.
All right, now, we've been speaking to a constitutional lawyer and a lecturer at the UPSA Law School, Justice Abdullahi, who believes the constitutional provision is clear on this instance.
Every and any constitutional provision indeed is open to interpretation by the courts. And so from our angle, yes, it is easy to say that from the clear readings of the provisions in reference, it appears to be clear until the circumstances yield to an ambiguous and multiple interpretations. But from the precedents that we've had in the past and the circumstances of this particular case, I think it will be difficult for anybody to argue an ambiguity into these interpretations of the provisions in reference as against the expulsion of the members of parliament in reference. I don't think that it will yield to any difficulties the speaker declaring them non grata, persona non grata in his parliament.
All right, so that's Justice Abdullahi there. Let's go back to Kweku and see if the line is a bit clearer now. Kweku, so with these members of parliament who are likely to lose their seat if they should go in favor of whoever will move the motion, have you heard from them? What are their reactions?
Get all these persons on the record to sort of give us an understanding of what exactly they make of this provision. The general sense we are getting is that these are persons who've already made up their mind that this is a cause they are chattering, and so they are not going to back down. In fact, some of them telling me that Parliament is resuming tomorrow. They are not going to go to Parliament. They are going to stay in their constituencies and campaign and win their seats. And they do not care if their seats are declared vacant or not. Ultimately, they will be seeking to return to the 9th Parliament, and they are going to win their seats. That is the most important thing for them. And that Parliament is just about 3 weeks more to vacate. In fact, this last meeting of Parliament is going to last not more than 4 weeks. Evidence that even if they are expelled for the last 4 weeks, it's not something of importance to them. And their biggest preoccupation now is to win their seats and return to Parliament. It will be recalled that in 2021, Andrews of Makwesiama's seat was declared vacant. He said something of the sort publicly and said that he was going to win the seat for the NPP. Indeed, eventually he won and caucused with the majority. That is the only reason why the NPP has majority in Parliament as we speak. So all these other MPs whose seats are on the verge of being declared vacant, they do not care about that. The Parliament is to go ahead with that. They are going to go ahead and campaign and ultimately return to the 9th Parliament, which will start on the midnight of 7 January 2025.
All right, Kweku, grateful to you. So that's my colleague Kweku Asante there with what we've been picking on this particular development. This is Top Story, always brought to you by Telecel and Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. So we have the majority leader, Alexander Afenyo-Markin, on the line. Let's go to him. Leader, grateful to you for speaking to us here. Now, we understand that the party has reached a conclusion on this matter. What's the decision that has been taken? Okay, so we'll be speaking to Majority Leader shortly, but this is a developing story in which the former minority leader in the House, Haruna Idrisu, is threatening to lead the House to move a motion to cause 3 majority MPs to lose their seat and another a minority MP to lose their seat because they've all crossed carpet from where they used to be in Parliament. We'll get details shortly here on Top Story. Always brought to you by Telecel and Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. All right, so let's bring in Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer, who's Deputy National Director of Elections and IT of the NDC. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. Now, you've heard from your former minority leader. He wants to make this move, but you look at the time we have. Is this a move that we should be concerned about by now, looking at the time left for this Parliament to expire?
Let me say good evening to your cherished listeners, and let me add my voice to it that, look, the timing is right. It's a correct time, and we back the former minority leader stand on this. You should go ahead and move the motion, and I believe and strongly believe that the Speaker will rule in favor of the motion. Because if you look at what is going, that is complete indiscipline. Indiscipline to the extent that you participated in all the party processes. That led to the election of another person as a parliamentary candidate for that constituency. So if you had won, were you expecting the other candidate to also go independent? After that, even when we nullify, I'm talking of our party, when we nullified the election that elected the lady as our candidate for the constituency, I'm talking of the Memphis Central. We reopened nomination, and this sitting MP came and picked nomination papers to file to recontest again. He went through the process. Along the line, he had to withdraw. After we vetted him, in fact, I was part of the panel that vetted them. And then he honorably withdrew his nomination because we had issues with certain things, and he thought that, look, in order to allow a smooth running of the constituency, and also in order to allow peace to prevail in the constituency, it was prudent for him to withdraw, and he withdrew. And that allowed us to proceed with the process, and the lady was declared as having been re-elected again as our parliamentary candidate for Memphis Central. I went there, and his people were there. Almost all his guys were there to support Joanna. So it came to us as a surprise when we heard that he went and filed as a parliamentary candidate as independent. That is indiscipline, gross indiscipline. And I think we support Honorable Haruna Idrisu to go ahead. This one will set a precedent, and we must make sure that people who have that kind of intention, time to come, you are a sitting MP, and then you jump ship to go and contest as an independent candidate. You have no business being on the seat again, because the party sponsored you, the party supported you to get to that seat. So if you jump ship, you are no more a member of the party. In fact, our constitution is even very clear on that matter. As soon as you cross carpet to other political party or independent, you cease to be a member of the party. That one is even enough. It's very clear in our constitution. And also that one, that we don't joke with it.
So this is a decision backed by the national executive of your party that, this should happen for the man to lose his seat in Parliament.
It's already grounded in our constitution. The party constitution is very clear about this, that anybody who goes independent is going against the dictates of the party. And this is a decision the party has taken long since. This is not a new thing. It's a long thing. Anytime people who go independent and the party call on them to step aside and they refuse.
Okay, so that's we're still on with Dr. Rashid Tanko Computer. Yeah, Doc, so you're making a point when the line went bad a bit.
Hello, I'm saying that this is an issue that is grounded in our party constitution. And if you look at all success from 2000 all the way to the current one, anybody who goes independent, the General Secretary will issue a letter or statement dismissing them from the party. You are against the party rules because the party has elected its candidate, and we are backing our candidate. We have 276 parliamentary candidates, backing all of them. And the leader of the party is going in for the presidency. That is His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. Anybody who goes contrary to this, you cease to be a member of the party.
So has the General Secretary issued a letter in respect of Honorable Kwache's stance?
Very soon, pretty soon, you will see something like that, because we have given emissary to them, all those who have gone independent, to step aside. If failure to do this, and they will continue to pursue their agenda to continue the independent path, they will be dismissed from the party.
So when Parliament resumes tomorrow, is it Minority Leader who's doing this? Who have you charged to move this on your behalf?
Well, this is an initiative from a member of Parliament. He is a former Minority Leader. He is an initiative. It's not coming from the party side. It's not the party that is sponsoring this. He is a member of Parliament. He has every right. He's a former Minority Leader. He's still a sitting member of Parliament, and he's invoking the right constitutional instrument and to move a motion on that one. And so he has every right. He's a member of Parliament. He's a sitting member of Parliament, and he's even our current candidate for Tamale South. So he has every right to move a motion on that direction.
All right. Let me bring in Dr. Rashid Rahman. He's Executive Director of the Africa Center for Parliamentary Affairs. Grateful to you, Doc, for joining us here. Now, if you look at the fact that we are left with it's barely 2 months to the general election, and if these people, the seat of these MPs are declared vacant, how should we handle it such that it won't lead to a situation where their constituent will be without representation in Parliament?
Yeah, so I think in the precedent that was set, I don't think the honorable member was actually expelled from Parliament, because it was almost close to election, just similar to what we are seeing. So that is a matter that I believe the leaders of Parliament would have to think through very carefully, because organizing a by-election just maybe a month before election, I don't know whether it makes any real sense. So that is one. Second, I might see this ending up, with the courts. Maybe the party that is aggrieved, in this case the MPP, might run to the court and ask the court, as we've seen a few times in this 8th Parliament, ask the court to subject this matter to some interpretation, because already there have been different kind of readings of this 97G. So I might very well see a situation where they will run to the court, and then we know what would happen, because by the time the legal process runs its course, maybe we are into the December 7 elections.
But Doc, isn't it instructive, because the provision says a member of Parliament shall vacate his seat in Parliament if he leaves the party of which he was a member at the time of his election to Parliament to join another party or seeks to remain in Parliament as an independent member. Once the key word is shall, should there be any other different interpretation?
I am not a lawyer. I'm a political scientist, and I have heard lawyers, constitutional lawyers, faulting Right Honorable Speaker Okwe for that ruling that he made 4 years ago. So it's going to be very interesting. As you know, lawyers come up with all kinds of arguments, in order to defend their case, or in order to make things that are clear, more murkier than the ordinary eye can see. So looking at the balance of power, looking at the numbers, I might indeed foresee a situation where, this is not going to go down very easily. It will not be, the MPP is not going to take this, just lying down. I can assure you of that. So I can see where, arguments on the floor fail. Maybe some kind of legal, interventions might be invoked in order to try to stall this from happening.
Okay. All right. Grateful, stay with me. Let me bring in Alexander Afenyo-Markin. He is the Honorable Majority Leader of the House. Grateful to you for joining us, Leader. Now, we do understand that the party has reached a conclusion on this particular matter. What's the decision the party has taken?
I don't understand the point you are making. Which party, with respect, please?
I mean, we got sources from the MPP when we wanted to get the reaction of the party, and we were made to understand that, well, the party has taken a decision, but they want the leader to rather be the one communicating it. And that's what we want to ask. What decision?
Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. So the understanding is to find out whether this is the official position of the NDC. You know, Mr. Haruna Idrisu is not the leader of the party in Parliament.
Well,
neither is he the official spokesperson. Can I finish, please?
Okay.
Neither is he the official spokesperson of the NDC in Parliament. I've tried to reach my colleague, Dr. Atu Forsen, on the position of the party in Parliament regarding all these kind of brouhaha. We are hearing that tomorrow they are going to sit on our seats and all that. I think that I have to find out from him what their plan is, and then we can respond appropriately. I've not been able to reach him, and I'm sure tomorrow when I get hold of him, we'll be able to discuss matters. But for now, I think Mr. Idrisu is expressing his own opinion. Which opinion? I don't take away from him, but I'm not going to respond to it.
Okay.
I would engage Dr. Forsen on this matter.
We've spoken to the party just a while ago, and the party is fully backing that decision by Haruna Idrisu to move the side to get these seats declared vacant.
I'm saying that we have a leader of their side. Allow me to engage their leader. Unless Haruna Idrisu is now the de facto leader who is the spokesperson of the party. I know a bit of parliamentary politics. Let me deal with the leader. I don't know who you've spoken to in the NDC who is saying that Haruna Idrisu is now the leader of NDC in Parliament. I would want to engage their leader and get to know their position, and then MPP is always well prepared to deal with matters of law, and we won't shy away from that at all.
So what will be the level of engagement, as you say, between you and the leader on the other side?
Oh, leave that to me. Leave that to me, and then leave that to us. Whatever it is, would come out, and because you see, we have few months into the election. Our responsibility as leaders would be to avoid the unnecessary rant out the outside, no ranting, but ensure decorum in the House. Assist Mr. Speaker to administer what he's supposed to administer on the House floor. There are critical government business to be looked at, and committee work to be done, and that's what we have to do. But if you get into such plots, traps, then chaos all over the place, unnecessary noise. We have practiced at the Supreme Court. We don't talk law outside of the court. We talk law inside the court. And so there's a difference between a person who discusses law and has not practiced law, and a person who practices law and talks law. So that's a huge difference. That has to be considered. So we will not be in a rush to be talking law. We'll talk law at the right time. So let me engage my colleague.
Okay.
Because as part of it, we want to also ensure that Speaker is engaged so that together we manage the House and all that. So let's see how it goes.
Well, once you said, you understand the law. We understand that there are moves at the Supreme Court to stop this. Has there been something like that?
I would want to engage my respected colleague, Dr. Forsen. That is the first stage. If he confirms that indeed it is their intention to act in a certain manner, would then respond, and the public will know our response as MPP. And I have told you that in MPP, including me as a leader of the party, we practice our law in court, and we have a track record for that. Those who are hearing them talking law have not practiced their law in court. That's the difference. So give it patience, give it time. Let's deal with it step by step.
Okay.
Our ultimate responsibility to the Ghanaian people is to ensure peace in the chamber of parliament. In this democracy, the only thing that sustains it is parliament. So we have to be careful not to allow parliament to break down. If parliament breaks down, that is the end of Ghanaian democracy. And that is what we would protect as MPP. So for those who are planning and plotting chaos to create relevance, they must watch the space. For those who think that it is ranting and all that, that would help the cause of any sort of agenda, they should know that they will be harming the Ghanaian democracy. And I will encourage you, the media, to create the balance.
Okay.
And help to maintain order in the chamber.
Okay.
It's your responsibility to help us.
Now, if you confirm from your counterpart on the other side, and you understand there are moves like that, will there be move on your side to stop that motion from being laid?
You want me to be repeating myself. Permit me to rely on my earlier submission, because you are repeating your question, which question I've already answered. So I would want to assume that you want another way to get a new answer. Well, let me rely on the earlier answer I've given without more. Most respectfully, sir.
But your party's constitution also speaks against people who move from your party to declare themselves as independent candidate, doesn't it?
Our party constitution says what? I don't have it with me now. Please quote the relevant provision that you are relying on, so we can discuss it.
In 2020, when Andres Yama moved from the MPP, when Andres Yama moved from the MPP to become independent,
you said our party constitution.
No.
I said I don't have my constitution with me.
That is fair enough.
Quote the provision you are relying on.
That is fair enough. But when Andres Yama moved from the party to be independent,
so you are moved away from the party constitution.
I am not moving away, but I'm asking a question that your side, once you have members on your side who are going independent, won't you move as you did in 2020?
What did we do in 2020?
Andres Yama's seat was declared vacant.
By who?
The speaker.
Upon what motion? You said we did something. MPP did something.
Yeah, you in the house, so you would have to tell me. Yeah.
No, but you are asking the question with respect. We started with a beautiful question. Lay your foundation well, and then we can have a beautiful conversation.
Okay.
So we don't make it confrontational. I don't believe in this approach. Ask me the relevant question, anchor it on facts. You first said our constitution. I say I don't have mine here. Tell me the provision. You moved away from there. Then he said we did something.
I want to be educated.
We do.
I want to be educated. When a member on your side,
please.
No, I just need education.
You said 2020.
I just need education.
So you are now coming with a new point.
No. I'm not coming with a new point. It's just the same point. I'm saying
what are you saying?
When a member on your side declares him or herself and indeed files to contest as independent at a constituency where you have a parliamentary candidate, what's the stance of your party?
I don't have my constitution with me now. I don't have it now. I will check the provisions and we can have a conversation on it later. Now, I don't have the constitution with me. If you have with you in your studios, you could read the relevant provisions so we can have a conversation on it.
Okay. All right. We'll see how this one goes. Now, I mean, would want to get further education on this particular matter. But I'm grateful to you. We'll be watching how tomorrow goes, and then we'll come to you when they need be.
I'm equally grateful to you for the time spent on this interview. Thank you.
All right. Dr. Rashid Rahman is still with me. Doc, so how should the Speaker proceed on this matter?
Well, I mean, I think the submissions of the majority leader are quite relevant. I mean, for me, what I picked from him is the fact that as leaders of this country, leaders of parliament, they have a responsibility to make sure that our democracy is stable. Everything is anchored around parliament, and the stable parliament is the stable our democracy. But again, going back to my earlier submission, I told you that I could see this matter ended up in the courts, and he has made it clear they practice their law in the courts. So he's being subjected to different interpretations, and we might end up in the court where someone would seek some clarity.
Okay.
And,
all right.
And I believe by the time all that is said and done, this matter is dead on arrival.
Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. This has been Top Story, always brought to you by Telecel and Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Coming up next is Newsnight.
Kind of way, Telecel, the more money promo now.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
Hello, my name is Mami Akua, an entrepreneur and a mother of two. My work keeps me busy most of the time, and sometimes it takes me away from my family. But the safety and health of my family is very important to me. As a working mother, I cannot afford to take any chances when it comes to matters of health. That is why I signed up for a family health care plan from Equity Health Insurance. My family and I have access to over 700 hospitals, clinics, opticians, dentists, pharmacies, and diagnostic centers across the length and breadth of Ghana. With Equity Health Insurance, I no longer have to worry about medical bills. Anytime a member of my family visits a hospital, Equity Health Insurance has got my family and I covered. What about you? Who has got you covered?
Call Equity Health Insurance on 050-660-7910 and talk to them about your family health needs now. Visit equityhealthinsurance.com for more information. Equity Health Insurance, here for you.
Smile.
Ready for a smile makeover? Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. Cosmetic dentistry services can enhance your smile's beauty and boost your confidence with a more attractive and radiant look. Whether you're interested in teeth whitening, veneers, or a complete smile transformation, an experienced dental team can help you achieve the smile of your dreams. The process begins with a consultation where we assess your oral health, discuss your specific concerns and goals to create a tailored treatment plan. While smile makeovers primarily focus on improving the appearance of the smile, they can also offer functional benefits such as better bite alignment, improved chewing ability, and enhanced overall health.
Healthy smile.
Charlie, this year's elections, I am really confused. I don't know who to vote for.
Why don't you know who to vote for? Let's listen to one policy JDM says he's going to implement when he's voted.
I think so NDC ban. You be bien juman kitten. My person branch executive na di omo bejim. Say yankoko na person share poultry farm ketu ebi near mao akoko bono near ton koko na mao near mao eduane a ode beto eduane ama sika ode beto eduane ama.
But why are you laughing? My guy, relax. So this is the reason he wants us to vote for him? Oh, the man hasn't changed one bit. Same old dead goat. Now let's listen to one of the many policies Dr. Bawumia has for the youth.
Jobs would be my major focus. Now, me be training 1 million youth in digital skills.
And see, that's not all. Apart from that, he's going to set up SME Bank to enable SMEs expand, to create jobs for the youth, and also increase demand with the buy now, pay small policy, which is the credit scoring system.
Oh, really?
That's not all, oh. Let me give you the last one. He says he's going to introduce Buy Ghana First policy to boost local businesses to help them expand and employ more youth.
Wow. Now, I know who I'm voting for come December 7th. Dr. Bawumia, you have my vote.
Yes, so these are but a few of DMB's bold solutions for the youth when he's voted into power come December 7th. I've changed my mind. I'm not voting for JDM anymore. I'll vote for the bold solutions man, Dr. Bawumia. Great decision, my brother. This year, Dr. Bawumia's vote, yem fan cheche. Vote Dr. Bawumia, number 1 on the ballot.
This is Joy 99.7 FM, 54 days to the 2024 presidential and parliamentary elections. Good evening and welcome to Newsnight. Tonight, Ghana Cocoa Board alarmed over the spate of smuggling as the country loses over 120,000 metric tons of cocoa, totaling $2 billion between 2022 and this year, despite that 531% increase in producer price for cocoa.
It is something that is adversely affecting our production as a nation. In fact,
I have details of that also tonight. Environmental think tank Arocha pushes for the removal of Ghana as co-chair of the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership, a key organization in campaigning the protection of forests following the devastation by Galamsey activities. We have details of that shortly, and also get to hear from the EPA challenging CSIR's 300-year restoration timeline for lands affected by illegal mining. And in our Drive Safe campaign tonight, Ghana Police Service commences investigations into cruisome accident at East Legon over the weekend caused by the speeding of a minor that led to the charring of 2 individuals in the process.
We realized that the 2 people, they were bent beyond recognition. You could see their skin melting onto their seats. So there were 4 people in the Acura and there were 3 people in the Jaguar. From reports I've received, the driver and then the 11-year-old girl who was rescued from the scene have been treated and discharged from the hospital.
We have details as one of the injured persons has since been discharged, plus the update from the Accra-Kumasi accident involving a VIP bus that claimed 12 lives in just one weekend.
In business, World Bank projects 4% growth rate for Ghana, far higher than what government had estimated for this year.
And in sports, Black Stars head coach Otuado vows to defeat Lucky Sudan in the make-or-break AFCON qualifying game in Libya tomorrow.
And we have this week's episode of Streets of Despair. We'll share the story of a 22-year-old who was forced into prostitution after being knocked down by a car while hawking sachet water.
Been into prostitution for 2 years now. I've invested all the love I have into this job.
Plus the latest from the National Science and Maths Quiz. Fancy Man Girls SHS outshine Zion College and West Africa SHS in the preliminary contest to seal the 1-8 sport in the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz.
We were inside for 6 years and we know God was preparing us for better things this time. So you should expect bigger things from sites now. I feel very berserk. I feel very overwhelmed with joy.
That and more in tonight's edition of Newsnight. Do well to join us with your thoughts. Your comments is via WhatsApp 055-1111-997. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM, Love FM in Kumasi and myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apau. Please do stay on for details. We're digging now. This is your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. And tonight, the Ghana Cocoa Board says it is alarmed over the impact of smuggling on cocoa production in the country after it lost over 120,000 metric tons of cocoa to the menace in the last 2 years alone. Despite the producer price of cocoa witnessing a 531% increase in the last 7 years, there have been a surge in cocoa smuggling to neighboring countries. While taking his turn at the Meet the Press series in Accra, CEO of Cocoa Board Joseph Boahengedu attributed the trend to the trading dynamics on the international market.
It is something that is adversely affecting our production as a nation. In fact, if we go by existing statistics, smuggling is taking almost about 100 to 120,000 metric tons of cocoa out of Ghana, especially in the last 2 years. Now, for last year and this year in particular, this had been so. I think now I'm coming to your question. This had been so because the international market trading system is inverted. When you say it's inverted, it means that today the spot price had become more appreciable or better than the forward, or what we call the futures. And for us, Ghana, before the price shot up, before the spike actually started last year, somewhere around April. That's April 2023. Before then, the price of cocoa at the terminal market, at the web market, was around $2,200 per ton. And then suddenly, there was this spike. From that figure, it crossed 3,000, went above 6,000, and by February this year, price of cocoa had gone above $12,000.
That's CEO of Cocoa Board, Joseph Boahengedu, at the Meet the Press series. Earlier today, my colleague on the research desk and data analyst, Isaac Kofieje, joins me in studio. Kofi, let's start with the total being smuggled out of the country between 2022 and now.
Well, if our Cocoa Board has not been consistent with the smuggled cocoa beans figures or statistics, what we know is that the CEO today said available data shows Ghana lost between 100,000 to 120,000 tons to smuggling in the last 2 seasons. However, Charles Amenyoglo, who leads the board's anti-smuggling task force, quoted a higher figure of 160 metric tons for the just ended season when he spoke to Bloomberg just last month. Also, we know that Cocoa Board in their December 2023 newsletter quoted 216,000 metric tons for the last 2 seasons and stated that the figure was equivalent to a loss of $754.3 million. Now, if we decide to go with the CEO's figures with an average international price of $8,000 per ton, it means Ghana lost an estimated $960 million to smuggling last year. Now, if adding the last 2 seasons, estimated loss of $754 million brings the total loss to some $1.7 billion. Or if we decide to use a higher figure of 160,000 metric tons, then we are talking about close to $2 billion in just 2 seasons.
Well, the concern remains as to why exactly our neighboring countries, Ivory Coast and Togo, remain that point where smuggling, or the destination point for the smuggled cocoa beans from Ghana, because there's been an increase in the producer price. What exactly is accounting for this?
Well, for the answer is very simple. You know, cocoa fetches more in Ivory Coast and Togo than in Ghana because of a more stable CFA franc, or the currency. and less regulated system. So they have a currency that's a bit stable than ours, and their system is not that as rigid in terms of the regulation like we have here in Ghana, MFA.
Well, that's interesting. But how much of these smuggled cocoa beans do we know that Cocoa Board's task force is able to intercept in this period under review?
So we are talking about a loss of 160,000 tons. Now, this is how much they were able to recover or intercept. Now, according to the same, the board's smuggling task force lead, he says that they were able to intercept about 250 tons last year, and this is up from the 17 tons in the 2020-2030 season. Now, just compare is we lost 160,000 tons, and the amount we're able to just intercept was 250 tons. That's huge difference. The difference is really vast.
Interesting. And Kofi, thank you so much for giving us updates and details of this particular situation. Let me bring in these two gentlemen, at least Charles Amenyaglo. You mentioned him in that interview to Bloomberg, and that's the
Reuters,
director. Reuters. So that's the director of special services for Cocoa Board. And I also have on the line Nano Boadia Boatingbo, who is president, Concerned Farmers Association. Grateful for your time, gentlemen, here on Newsnight. Let me start with you, Charles Amenyaglo. There are concerns, at least we've heard about the stable CFA franc, and then also the less regulated system, which is why it's so attractive for most of these farmers or the cartel to smuggle Ghana's cocoa beans to Ivory Coast and to Togo in particular. Is there really anything that can be done about this situation, considering that we've lost $2 million of monies when it comes to smuggling of cocoa to our neighboring countries?
Good evening to your listeners. Yeah, there's something more we can do. That is, first and foremost, we need to sensitize the citizenry that cocoa being the mainstay of Ghana's economy is regulated, and is regulated by law. And by law, it is only Ghana Cocoa Board that can purchase cocoa through its licensed cocoa buying companies. But what we have noticed now is that everybody has jumped to the fray and is buying cocoa, which is against our laws. And so, in the first place, when we do a lot of sensitization, they will realize the criminality in whatever they are doing, and that will bring down the smuggling menace. Otherwise, we are mounting a very strict control over the movement of cocoa. That is where we have the national security collaborating with us and other security agencies to prevent cocoa from living even within the inner part of the country through to our neighboring countries. So we are doing a lot of anti-smuggling operations just to bring it down in the first place.
And has it come down, you say?
Come again?
And has it come down?
We are doing our best. Because when you look at the interceptions from last year, as at the end of October, we intercepted about 400 bags of cocoa. This year, we are just about 2 weeks into October, and we have intercepted 3,404 bags. That's 212 tons of cocoa.
But so that's woefully inadequate, Mr. Menyaglo, because considering the tons that people are smuggling out of this country, and Cocoa Board and its task force are only able to intercept 300 bags, 400 bags, that's woefully inadequate.
No, that is not inadequate, because in the first place, internally, we are buying the cocoa. The licensed cocoa buying companies are buying the cocoa. Those who are finding means of taking the cocoa away, we have intercepted so far 212 tons. That is significant. When you look at it, 400 bags last year by this time, because we opened the season in September. We are now in October. So the season has a long way to go. From now up to September next year. So it is quite significant. We are doing quite well, because wherever the smugglers are passing, our men are doing a lot. Up to Boku, up to Tatali, up to Zwarungu, up to Techiman, up to Sophie. And as of Volta part of it, I mean that of Sogakope, Japon area, we have virtually sealed those areas.
Okay, but this
so
all this
quite significantly.
Okay, Ms. Amenya Global, all this boils down to the issue about the l'argent. Are we considering reviewing the producer price index to actually also dissuade farmers, apart from the task force also doing its work?
Oh, that is, I think management is still looking at the scenarios and where appropriate, I believe the necessary intervention will be put in place.
But are you overwhelmed, you say, or is a situation you have under control?
I would say it is under control, even though the surge is high. Significantly, you see virtually every day or every other day there are interceptions here and there. And because of the way we have implanted ourselves, sometimes taking them in large volumes have reduced. So they prefer putting in maybe a carton that is about half a bag, or Ghana must go back and conceal in public transport. Yes. If we have been overwhelmed, then that is where you see huge ones in large quantities being displayed outwardly for people to see that they are passing.
Okay. Ms. Amenya, we are grateful for your time. That's the Director of Special Services at Cocoa Board. Nano Boating Bones is also on the other line. He's President, Concerned Farmers Association. Really, government is doing all that it can. We've seen a review of the producer price index up to over 500%. And it looks like you still have appetite for smuggling cocoa to neighboring countries. What exactly is happening?
Well, thank you very much. You did not bring I'm the Farmer General of the farmers across the whole country. The whole system is, I heard your colleagues talking about cartels, and then also other person also speak on the cartels, and then who are the cartels doing all this kind of thing that has been happening. We, the concerned farmers, are doing a program that we call it Identification of Community Challenges on the cocoa growing areas, making sure that cocoa smuggling that is being moving out of the country will stay, so that at the end of the day, the government or the state will be having enough money to take care of a lot of things in the country. And then also educating the farmers about the dangers on this smuggling that others are also doing. But the problem is, it is not the farmers that they are smuggling the cocoa. It is the cartels that they are smuggling the cocoa. Your colleague made mention of Ivory Coast, their currency is higher than we in Ghana. Togo, the same as it is. And then that is what others, the cartels, are also doing. When they get close to the farmers, they tell them. So what Cocoa Board have to do is have to be sure that those that they've been given the license to have to be scrutinized. Because at the end of the day, it is surprising that with all these borders around us, and then huge amounts of cocoa will just pass through and then go. Where does it go? Is it a drone that they use it to move it away, or they use it to pass through the border? Cocoa Board, they are trying their best to make sure that all these things will put in place. But at the end of the day, the solution is we, the concerned farmers, can seal all this smuggling that has been happening, because the engagement so far that we've done from Western, North, Asante region, eastern part of the country, and then the Volta side, and then Western region, at least we are getting response, and then some of the farmers are in line with that. But what is triggering or trigger some of the farmers is about the pricing. Okay. So they're also telling them that at the end of the day, the government is making sure that he is trying his best in a way just to make sure that the pricing will be going up for them. That is the education that we are giving to the farmers on the ground, so that at the end of the day, they will not also be a victim for that. But at the end of the day, to make things clear, Ghanaian cocoa farmers, to our identification and then the challenges that we have been going through our investigation, no farmer is smuggling the cocoa. It is the cartels that they are buying the cocoa from the farmers. Because if the cocoa is 3,007 Ghana cedi and somebody is giving you 3,200 Ghana cedi, I think you give it up. And that is what has been happening. and others are giving money to the farmers, and then they are buying from the farmers because some of the farmers are angry enough, they want to sell their cocoa. Others are even giving their cocoa land for the galamsey. Even today, the meeting that we had, somebody just wake up and said, listen, I'm no more going to do the cocoa again. I want to do rubber plantation. So I've already given my 40 acres of cocoa plantation for the rubber plantation.
Interesting. And Obade, we'll have to leave it here. We are grateful for your time. And Obade Boating Bones, who is president, Concerned Farmers Association. You also heard earlier Charles Amenyaglo, director of special services at Cocoa Board. We've been hearing more from the Ghana Cocoa Board CEO at today's Meet the Press series. But tonight, after 48 hours, the Ghana Police Service has provided updates on the gory accident that happened at East Legon here in Accra that has got many of you talking. The police says it has commenced investigations into that gruesome incident over the weekend, which was allegedly caused by the speeding of a vehicle by a minor that led to the charring of 2 individuals. In the process, the Ghana National Fire Service, who are the scene of the incident to douse the fire, provided some updates, plus their preliminary findings, which we shall come to shortly. My colleague Kenneth JC has been all over this particular case for us, joins me in studio. But first, let's look at the police statement that they put out earlier today, a while ago, after 48 hours. What does it say?
Right, it says the Ghana Police Service has commenced investigation into an accident that occurred on Saturday, the 12th of October 2024 at East Legon in Accra, leading to the death of 2 persons. Preliminary police investigation indicates that the suspect driver, identified as Salif Wamwako, rammed his vehicle into another vehicle on Janie Ashi Street at East Legon. Yes, thank you. Both vehicles caught fire and burnt beyond recognition. Now, the suspect driver and other surviving victims are currently receiving medical attention. Meanwhile, one of the surviving victims has since been treated and discharged, while the bodies of the deceased victims have been deposited at the morgue for preservation and autopsy. So this is what the police report that was released a while ago says.
Well, but you have been to the scene. First, let's hear your interaction with some residents.
I was doing my normal cleaning. I was doing cleaning the glasses. So all of a sudden, I was at the top, and the white car, which is the Jaguar, they went for a part. And as boys, they were, I don't know whether they were boosted. So the Jaguar car, which caused the accident, was on high speed. And I learned they were arguing the car. The other guy was telling the guy to, slow down small. As he realized, he was almost inside the T-junction. And you can even see the brake tie there. So he tried to, step down the brake, but he failed. And he hit the black car. I don't know whether it's a Toyota car or not. So he hit the Toyota car, and the light pole, which is there, got broken, and the lights start, it sparked. And where the engine was to, the fuel combustion, and this thing started, to catch fire. So we tried to rescue them. I used the fire extinguisher and stuff, but we couldn't make it. So we rescued a small girl, and the driver, the black driver and the white, 3 boys got out from the car, and the black one, which is the driver.
I want to speak to another one who was also live on scene, but he said he witnessed the aftermath after he heard noise from the crash. Tell us more. What was going through your mind, first of all, when you heard that noise?
It's horrible. We all thought maybe it's a glass that has broken. We realized that later we came out, we thought that it was an accident. And terrible. The thing happened. All of a sudden, they catch fire. So we were trying to help, but it takes only a brave person to go in to help.
There are rumors that the one that hit the car was drunk. Do you have any indication of whether it was true?
No, I can't say that because the thing happened before we came out. So I can't say that. I don't have that fact. What we know is overspeeding. That one we all bear witness. The footage and other things bear witness here. You see, lucky enough, there was a water supply. Those with the poly tanks, they helped before the fire service people came in. If not that, the whole thing will burn to actually before the fire service will come in.
We'll get to hear from a member of the Public Relations Department of the Ghana National Fire Service. But Ken, you've been to the scene. I've heard your interaction with some residents there. What does the scene look like 48 hours after the incident?
Well, it looks clear 48 hours after the incident, but you can actually see the marks it has left. there's a building to the left of the road, and then directly opposite is a boutique. So that is the building where that car rammed into, and you can see that the car perforated into that building, which caught fire eventually. And then what happened was that there was an electric pole that fell onto the vehicle. So that electric pole got destroyed. So when we got to the scene, the electric pole was being replaced by the staff from the electricity company, who tell us that that caused some power destruction. So that building, the building that has been destroyed, you can see there's a washroom there. There are people there, but they do not want to speak to us because they explain to us that they are a bit traumatized there. But aside that, though, people are going about their normal duties. But that is a very busy intersection. Anybody who knows that is a very busy intersection where a lot of cars, a lot of school buses, in fact, we saw a lot of school buses also passing there. And then when we were there, we saw a group of very young boys who came by, and a colleague told me that is the friend of, those are the friends of the guy who rammed into that vehicle. So normal activities are ongoing, but obviously you can see the marks of that horrible incident that happened during the weekend that has left over there. You could also see the debris that accident has caused over there. So although it's been 48 hours since the incident happened, but if you get there, you get saddened by just looking at what has happened there.
Well, Ken, let's listen to Alex Kinate earlier on the Pulse.
Right.
We realized that the two people, they were bent beyond recognition. You could see their skull, their skin melting onto their seats. It was unfortunate. My heart goes out to the family. We are still investigating, but per our initial assessment, anything could have caused the fire. So there were 4 people in the Acura, and there were 3 people in the Jaguar. So the Jaguar, there were 2 minors, I would say 2 16-year-old boys, and 1 11-year-old girl in the Jaguar, and then they had the 4 occupants in the vehicle. The good news is that from reports I've received, the driver and then the 11-year-old girl who was rescued from the scene have been treated and discharged from the hospital.
So that's Alex Kinate there interacting with my colleague Elton Brobe on the Pulse a while ago. He joins us on the line. He's a member of the Public Relations Department of the Ghana National Fire Service. Alex Kinate, we are grateful for your time here on Newsnight. So what's the update? What do we know? You earlier mentioned that 1 person had been discharged from the hospital. Tell us about the rest. How many other survivors are in the hospital?
Okay, so thank you very much for having me. So in all, we had 7 people affected in the fire or the accident. We have 3 who were minors in the Jaguar. 2 of them were 16-year-old, and then 1 11-year-old female. The Acura had 4 people in the vehicle, and so the driver, fortunately, the driver and 1 11-year-old lady from the Acura have been treated and discharged, thankfully. And so the people left are the 3 minors who were in the Jaguar. My sources tell me they are undergoing surgery, and I'm sure by now they are done with the surgery, and we are hoping that they should be able to make a quick recovery.
So what you're saying is the driver of the Jaguar and the other occupants of that vehicle all survived the accident?
They all survived the accident and are currently receiving treatment. Some of them, I don't know if all of them, are undergoing surgery. So I'm sure by now the surgery should be done and they should be able to make a quick recovery.
But this driver, there's been a lot of talk about that driver of the Jaguar being a minor. We are told it's a 16-year-old. The police has put out his name. We are told it is Salifu Amwaku. There's no age put to it in the police statement. What do we know, at least from your preliminary investigations?
So our preliminary investigations truly confirm that, yes, he's a minor, because there are 2 males who were both 16 years old and then 1 female who was 11 years old. So, yes, it means that he is a minor, a 16-year-old boy.
And the occupants of the Acura that you talk about, that at least 2 have been discharged, and the others, at least we saw the charring of their bodies in the live feed, amongst others. Have we been able, what exactly is the extent of communication between the Ghana National Fire Service and the family involved in this particular incident?
Okay, so today our officers from Medina, they were the team that responded to the accident. They paid the operations officer and the commander for the station, paid a visit to the hospital. Unfortunately, they couldn't get access to them, and both the family of the children of Salifu Amwako and then the occupants of the Curia. We couldn't get access to them because they were all receiving medical treatment. So we are giving them time, and then we'll definitely do our follow-ups to be able to get a conclusive and solid investigation at the end of the day.
So it's established that these children are that of the pastor that we know, Elisha Salifu Amwako.
Yes. Okay. So when our team got there, they had been rescued. So I didn't see them. So it was initial reports, and then based on follow-ups that we did, that confirms that that's the son of Salifu Amwako.
And what's been the reaction of the father or the parents of Salifu Amwako so far?
We haven't really been able to get close to them because after we were more concerned with trying to get, because you can imagine how even distressing it is for officers to see charred body, and the fact that the bodies had melted onto the seats, and getting them off, you risk tearing their skin apart. That's how horrific it was. So we were concentrated on making sure that these people were safe, and then making sure that the other people that survived. So we haven't really been able to get enough from the family of Salifu Amwako, because when our officers visited the hospital, they were met with some resistance of a sort by their legal counsel, and so we are hoping that once the surgery is done, we should be having some cooperation from the legal counsel, from their counsel, so that we'll be able to make headway.
What's the resistance that you talk about? Why was there resistance from the legal counsel of Salifu Amwako's side?
So I think it's because they were now undergoing surgery. So I think they had wanted to, obviously they didn't want, he's a minor, so he can't engage any investigative body without the presence of a lawyer or the presence of an adult. And the fact that he was going into surgery, so I think that's where they were trying to make sure that after the surgery, then we will be able to have him in the presence of his counsel. So I won't say resistance of a sort, but I would say that we couldn't get to see him due to the circumstances at hand.
But I'm wondering, what's the level of collaboration between the Ghana National Fire Service and the Ghana Police Service? Because I'm seeing a very clear statement from the Ghana Police Service without details. At least you've been able to tell us the number of persons involved, the number of survivors, amongst others. But that statement does not give us so much.
Okay, so this is also to correct perceptions of Ghanaians that when there's an accident and human lives are involved, either dead or alive, that needs to be retrieved. It falls within the purview of the Ghana National Fire Service. So the police, as our colleagues, are just there to maintain law and order, and then we hand over the dead bodies to them. So the initial grounds was our grounds as the fire service to retrieve them and hand them over to the police. So I guess they are also doing their own investigation, and they also have their own modus operandi. But with that, based on our initial assessment as the first responders to the scene, that is why we are being able to give out this information. I'm sure they are also conducting the interviews, because they would have to look at different angles in their investigation. They'll look at the criminal aspect of it. They'll look at the road traffic accident. Road traffic.
We get all that, but Mr. Kinate, it sounds as though we are having two key institutions running a parallel investigations on a same incident.
Oh, no, on that day...
Are you collaborating to start with?
We are collaborating to an extent, because on that day when it happened, we had the commander we had the police commander there, we had the police there, we had a very nice, healthy conversation at the scene, and we even had one of the police officers help us, carry one of the bodies. So we are having that collaboration, and so it's one of the things that we are working on, and at the district levels, we are working on it. So we can't come out with all the findings that we come how we're working together. But truly, we have a very good working relationship with the Ghana National Police Service.
We are grateful. That's Alex Kenate, is a member of the Public Relations Department of the Ghana National Fire Service, giving us updates on that East Legon incident. And we know there was also an accident on the Accra-Kumasi highway over the weekend that has led to the loss of 12 lives, one too many, on our roads just this weekend. Let's do business. George, what do we have?
Well, MFA coming up, World Bank projects a 4% growth rate for Ghana, far higher than what the government estimated for this year. And also, government has abandoned plans to embark on cocoa syndication loan to support the sector and cocoa purchases. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTN Business. Welcome to the new world of business. Kingdom Books and Stationery, Synthesis Tags, and Pepsodent Herbal and Charcoal.
The other day, I visited Kweku at his spunky new office to congratulate him on opening his business. And man, was I impressed. The business is just moving quick. The sales, customers, everything is just working seamlessly. The secret? He said,
it's MTN Business Broadband. In this fast-paced environment, we need fast and reliable internet to support all business types. No laggy online meetings, great download and upload speeds, impeccable business management systems, all inclusive. I mean, you can have it all.
Sharp! I signed on immediately.
To enable your business stay ahead and stay connected, make sure you're signed on to the best internet made just for businesses. MTN Business Broadband. Sign up today on broadband.mtn.com.gh and manage your account on my MTN app. Call 0244-308-111 for more information. We are good together everywhere you go.
Yeah. We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibebre. When him say my baby, maybe more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you ready to turn your dreams into reality? Don't just dream it, own it with a loan from Fidelity Bank. Dreaming of a new home? Own it with Fidelity Mortgage Loan. Dreaming of smelling the scent of a brand new tear rubber car? Own it with Fidelity Auto Loan. Dreaming of getting the latest phone, TV, fridge, furniture, laptop or gaming console? Own it with Fidelity Consumer Asset Finance. Dreaming of expanding your business? Make it a reality with our business loan. Fidelity Bank is offering flexible loans to businesses, salaried workers and the self-employed at a competitive rate. Dial 0800 003355 or visit any of our branches nationwide today to turn your dream into reality with a Fidelity Bank loan. Terms and conditions apply. Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
Fidelity. If I believe with us, Fidelity. If I know I day aside, Fidelity.
Imagine having access to top-notch educational resources, no matter your grade of school or location in Ghana. With the Ghana Knowledge and Skills Bank, you can tap into a vast library of resources, even in offline mode. From primary all the way to tertiary education, we've got you covered. As a student, you have access to past questions from 1990 to date for BEC, WASSCE, and tertiary test examinations. As a teacher or lecturer, you can hold virtual classes for your students and share your lecture notes for their use. As an educator or researcher, you can publish your books or articles for public consumption. And lastly, you have your own studies teacher or AI tutor who is trained to teach you in any subject topic till you fully understand. So whether you're a student, educator, content creator, researcher, or entrepreneur, the Ghana Knowledge and Skills Bank was made just for you. Sign up today at www.gksb.gov.gh. The Ghana Knowledge and Skills Bank, where learning has no limits and the possibilities are endless. This project was financed by the World Bank under the erstwhile e-Transform project at the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization.
The luckiest. *712#. Luck is everywhere for everyone.
Ekoma and Nanfufua, a daily star 712 hash, and found no regrets. A Ekoma investors are a striking goal. Ekoma health workers are a diagnosing lack with precision. A Ekoma that tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. Say Ekoma passionate fan or also entering containing a joy. After to the stressor or turning a hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, Ekoma, if you say your next big win is right here.
Dial star 712 hash and join the luckiest winning celebration. From the 1st of July 2024, dial star 712 hash to keep buying tickets as a group, individual, or even as a community. Win loads of cash and prizes in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Join the winning streak now.
The luckiest star 712 hash. Luck is everywhere, for everyone, yeah, the luckiest.
You're welcome back to Business on Newsnight. Now, the World Bank is projecting that economic growth will pick up strongly by the end of this year. The bank, in its latest report on economies around the world, is forecasting that Ghana would end the year with a rate of 4%. There is more in this report.
The World Bank, in its Africa Pulse report, noted that the revised forecast is based on the sudden pickup in economic activities for the last 2 quarters of this year and the impact of the IMF program on the expected recovery. The World Bank earlier this year did project that Ghana will end 2024 with a growth rate of 3.1%. However, it appears that due to current developments in the economy, it now thinks that Ghana may do better than earlier projected. The World Bank is the second development partner to indicate that the country will do better than what it had projected earlier this year. The IMF has also disclosed that it will revise its growth rate numbers for this year from the current 2.8%. It is not clear for now how this development could impact on investor confidence, especially at a time that the country has witnessed an upgrade with its credit ratings by Moody's, Fitch, and Standard & Poor's.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, government has revealed that it has abandoned plans to embark on cocoa syndication loan to support the sector and finance bean purchases. This is coming after the Ministry of Finance had earlier revealed that the plan is still on the table. But speaking to Joy Business, a Great Minister Dr. Brian Echampo noted that the current developments in the economy means that they have to shelve this for now.
If you don't need the money and pay all the interest, if we had gone on syndication, it's the interest rate on the world international market where you borrow. So far, it's at 5.75 plus margin of 2-3%. You will pay an interest of about 8% on $1 billion. That alone is 80 million cedis. At least that is how much money we have saved from going on the international market to borrow $1 billion. Now, if you want to buy a cocoa, bring money, fund an LBC, let the LBC go and buy it, and then we sell back to you.
A Greek Minister, Dr. Brian Echampo. Now, rating agencies Moody's and Fitch have all outlined conditions that will force it to move Ghana to an improved position. This was after I reviewed Ghana's position when it comes to its ability to settle its debts on time. There is more in this report.
Despite Ghana's credit ratings being reviewed, the country is still in that category, which can be classified as risky or call it a junk status. That is why the decision by these two firms to review Ghana's position going forward has been described as good news for the economy. Moody's, for instance, argued that they are likely to upgrade Ghana if government continues to deliver on fiscal consolidation, maintaining a primary surplus, and securing improved funding assets, ultimately reducing liquidity risk. Fitch also maintained that once Ghana finalizes the terms for restructuring all its external debt, that will be a positive development for reviewing the country's ratings going forward.
And that is a Business Desk report. Now, the Ghana Union Association is asking the Energy Commission to be heavier on its public sensitization program to educate consumers on energy-related issues. Joseph Obin says that this would help promote awareness and demand for renewable energy sources. He was speaking at the launch of the 2024 Ghana Power and Energy Expo.
We should also educate the final consumer on the new trends of what is required of us, because how is the final consumer going to know that this product consumes less energy? I think this is the way to go. That's what Energy Commission is working very hard on. But I think the consumer education is lacking, and that's why I will need Energy Commission in the next meeting.
Dr. Joseph Obin is the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association. Let's turn our attention to the stock market. And if you were a shareholder of GOL, today it was up by a peso to close at 1 Ghana cedi, 51 pesos. Total was also up by 5 pesos and it's now worth 12 Ghana cedis, 66 pesos. And that's all for business on Newsnight. Back to you, MFR.
Thank you, George. Let's do sports. Hey, Ms. Bao.
Hello, MFR. Let me bring you some update from that incident involving Nigerian men's national team and Libyan authorities. Remember that earlier in the day it was reported that Nigerian men's national team were left unattended to for some 13 hours in a Libyan airport. That was ahead of the AFCON qualifying game against Libya, which was slated for tomorrow. Now, the Nigerian men's national team subsequently boycotted the game and have since flown back to Nigeria. Now, CAF has released a statement following this development, and I'm going to read excerpts of it for you. They say that they view the disturbing and unacceptable experiences of the Nigerian football team at an airport in Libya in a very serious light. The Confederation of African Football has been in contact with the Libyan and Nigerian authorities after he had been informed that the Nigerian football team and the technical team were stranded in disturbing conditions for several hours. They say that the matter has been referred to the CAF Disciplinary Board for investigation, and appropriate action will be taken against those who violated the CAF statutes and regulations. Now, we understand the team has arrived in Nigeria, and the team's captain, Trustekon, has been speaking.
Just got back to Nigeria with the team. I just want to say big thank yous to all the support that we've been getting. Out of energy, it's been a long 24 hours. We've tried to do our best to keep our spirits high. This will be the last thing I'm going to say about it. Football is all about respect, and that starts by respecting ourselves. We took a stand. I'm proud of the team's decision, and we'll be waiting to see what will be the follow-up from here, whatever the consequences are. We will be ready to continue our journey to AFCON 2025 in November.
The Nigerian men's national team captain Trustekon following the arrival in Nigeria. Well, let's stay in Libya because that's where the Black Stars are also based ahead of their game against Sudan tomorrow. And, they are in a must-win game considering their standings in Group F, where they've got just 2 points and behind second place Sudan, and 7 points adrift leaders Angola, who are on 9 points. The match against Sudan could be the defining point in Ghana's qualifying campaign for next year's tournament as they aim to secure victory after a goalless draw in Accra last Thursday. Well, Ghana coach Tuado says there's still hope.
Surely we will try to train finishing and give them confidence. That's all. This was the only thing which was missing. The spirit was good, the passion was there, the defensive discipline was there. It's just about to finish the actions. That's all. That's all. And Sudan was very lucky today. And next time we see them in Libya, they won't be lucky. Then we will stay positive, and we will beat them away with the same performance, the same passion, the same creativity up front. We will beat them away.
Yeah, that's Otuado, MFA. Sudan were lucky on Thursday, according to Otuado. And tomorrow, he said, we'll beat them. Yes.
Tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah, we'll beat them. All right, MFA, that's it for sports.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Just to mention, we're just about 12 days away from Joy Sports Invitational Tournament. So,
I told you I'm doing 100 meters.
Yeah, man. We've now got swimming in it.
Hey,
we need swimmers at multimedia. I hear the boys are registering for football right now. We need swimmers. So
Papa, you do that for us.
All right. And National Insurance Commission have registered, and we're with them earlier today, and of course we'll be hearing from them on Prime later
I'll be
tonight.
Watching you.
All right,
Thank you so much, Musbao. Now let's do our Street of Despair. And at just 22, she was forced into prostitution to survive. Mayfia quit hawking sachet water after a speeding car knocked her down, breaking her leg. In the process, she's now compelled to accept offers as low as 25 cedis each night as charges. In the Joy News feature, Street of Despair, Emmanuel Jivenu shares the stories of young girls in prostitution at the Kwame Nkrumah Circle here in Accra.
I joined my friends in prostitution. Now, prostitution is what I do.
At just 22 years old, Mayfia's life took a turn she never imagined. With no one to lean on, the street became her home, and survival meant taking whatever work she could find, even if that meant selling her body.
Been into prostitution for 2 years now. I make between 100 cedis and 200 cedis.
Each night, she's met with demeaning offers disguised as opportunities. 25 Ghana cedis, 30 Ghana cedis, and at times, a mere 5 Ghana cedis, an amount that wouldn't cover a single meal for most. But for Mayfia, these are the rates she's forced to take.
Some men come offering 5 cedis. They insult you when you reject it. From the 30 Ghana cedis I make per client, 5 cedis covers the costs of the room.
Every day, Mayfia follows the same routine. She wishes she could escape, but there is no way out.
By 6 p.m., I get ready to go to work. On a slow day, I return by midnight to sleep. However, on a good day, I can work until daybreak. I've invested all the love I have into this job.
Despite her situation, Mayfia holds on to a dream of a different life. One where survival doesn't mean offering her pride for cash.
I really want to quit, but I need the money to rent and get myself established.
That's the harsh reality on the streets. That's our Street of Despair put together by my colleague Emmanuel Jivenu. By way of updates, the Electoral Commission is announcing for the information of the general public that registered voters and all stakeholders re-exhibition of the Provisional Voters Register will commence on Tuesday, 15th October and end on Saturday, 19th October 2024. You recall that during the special IPAC meeting on 1st October, the Commission assured the public that the revised PVR will be re-exhibited online for registered voters to check their details and report any discrepancies to the Commission. So it's starting online, and the short code is *711*51#, and it is free of charge. And we're looking forward to that IPAC meeting tomorrow. And Ghana is no longer fit to be co-chair of the Forest and Climate Leaders Partnership, a key organization in campaigning the protection of forests. This strong push is from Arocha Ghana, and is to see Ghana removed from their position because it is convinced the president representing Ghana on the organization isn't promoting the ideals of the organization. Among others, the concern, it accuses President Akufo-Addo of seeing to the passage of LI 2462. We know also that the president is making moves to repeal that when Parliament resumes tomorrow, and we know that it allows mining in forest reserve, which is destroying the forest. So these are the concerns by Arocha. We head out with National Science and Maths Quiz. And all the action began today in the Central Region, and my colleagues are on the team led by my colleague Jacqueline and Sumaye Boa, and we are told that the site ladies are doing some magic. But let's talk about what else has been happening on the ground. Jackie, take us away.
Yes, understand. So today we had several contests. We had roughly about 9 contests so far. Let me run you through the first contest for the day, which was at Auditorium 900. In Fantaman Girls, they proceeded to the next stage. And also the second contest at Auditorium 900, Chito Senior High School, proceeded to the next stage. They were in that same category with Notre Dame and Methodist Girls SHS, but unfortunately they couldn't make it. And the last contest was between Tepa Senior High School, Bryce Senior High School, Secondary College, and Tepa Senior High School. You know, Bryce Senior High School is a first timer. But then, interestingly, we also have Archbishop Porter Girls also proceeding to the next stage. We have Adao Master, which is a new baby, a new school, which is part of the new government schools for this year. We've also proceeded to the next stage of the competition. And we have Hope College also proceeding, and Boga Methodist Senior High School, and Queen of Peace proceeding to the next stage. But tomorrow there's going to be several contests. There's a likelihood that the contest being held tomorrow would be held in 4 groups. If you remember, Nanekia Mensah-Bonsu, the managing director for Time, has been saying that this year they had a lot of numbers as compared to previous years in terms of the school contestants.
Okay. Well, that's a packed contest for today and tomorrow, and we look forward to all the updates. I'm sure the site ladies are happy, but let's see how it goes. Thank you very much, Jackie and Sumaya Boa. They're giving us all the details when it comes to National Science and Maths Quiz, produced by Primetime Limited, sponsored by the Ghana Education Service in partnership with GOL PLC, and supported by Pepsodent, Jupay, and Prudential Life Insurance Ghana. The broadcast of the 2024 National Science and Maths Quiz on Joy News is supported by NASCO, Vitamilk, Virtual Security Africa, Ace Medical Insurance, Build Financial Technologies, DBS Roofing, Syntex Tanks, Family Health Medical School, Chopbox Technologies, and Action Secondary Technical, Multimedia Institute of Ghana, DPS Pipes, and Waka Now. That's my opinion with Nanan Sakwao. Is up next. Please do stay. I am Emefa Apau. Many thanks for your company.